What's up guys, it's Lawrence here from Crossfader. If you're a DJ and you mix hip hop, trap, drill, lo-fi, then I have 5 techniques that are gonna make your mixes stand out. Let's go. Before we get into the 5 tips guys, I have a giveaway. I'm gonna be giving away some free Crossfader merch at the end of this video. All you need to do is go and comment on this video, and my favorite comment I will choose to receive one of our brand new merch items. Let's get stuck in to 5 mixing techniques for hip hop.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROCO. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name. Got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. That's right, Ho. Not DOC, but similar to the letters. No one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do, take you back to the dude with the Lexus. Fast forward the jewels and the necklace. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors. Say the movie, dogs.
Now trick what lace who? They ain't what mates do. Got a lot of girls that'll love to replace you.
So in this first example, we are using the sampler to give our controller an extra channel. Like me with this Rev 1, you may only have 2 channels to play with, and using a sampler gives us a freedom of creativity. All you need to do inside of Serato is open up your sampler, and it's as simple as dragging and dropping an acapella into the sampler. So I have dragged and dropped this Jay-Z acapella in here. So if I open up my sampler on my controller,
allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
And this will work with the volume down as long as I have this M selected for master over here in the corner. And then just to talk us through some settings quickly, what you're going to want to do is click the gear icon, and you're going to want this button selected here, which is the pitch lock, so it doesn't go higher or lower in pitch. And then on this drop down menu here, this is where the sample is going to start from and trigger from. So if I selected start and hit my sample,
it's just a public service announcement.
It starts from the very beginning of the track. But as you can see, if I drag in the file to channel 1, I've selected a cue point here.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
So therefore, I can now see that inside of my sampler. So I go ahead and click Q1. And then it's important to have sync on. We're not going to be able to control the tempo of the sampler while we're mixing. So make sure that your beat grid is aligned perfectly. If your beat grid isn't aligned and you hit sync, it might not work. So you need to get your beat grids aligned perfectly for this to work. Then it's as simple as finding some tracks like some instrumentals or tracks that have intros like I have done in this example here. And then simply activating the sample.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-V.
And then we've got a spare channel 3. We can load in tracks here. And it gives us a really clean transition. In the game wearing my chain, that's right, Ho, not DOC, but similar to the letters, no one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do, take you back. So it gives us a really clean transition. It allows us to be creative, creating live mashups. Just remember at the end of the sample to open up your sampler and turn the sample off. Make sure it stops playing. And then during that example, I had a couple more effects in there. I had a horn effect and a glass effect. So you can get as creative as you want. On the drop in another sound effect just to add a little bit of spice to the mix. But I also like to use this in reels. It's a great way to have an engaging reel or a TikTok, a quick 60-second blend of mashups of a load of different instrumentals with an acapella. It's great for your socials as well. And you can use it in a long mix. You can use it in an event, in a club, just to show off a little bit. So load in an acapella, get creative, and see what you can do.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. 'Cause all I do is win, and if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, no matter run the game, we ain't never leave, never leave. Counting up this money, we ain't never sleep, never sleep. You got V12, I got 12 V's.
The next tip is to use some wordplay in your DJ sets. Now this does require a little bit of knowledge of music. It might be something as simple as typing in a word into your music collection. You might spark some ideas that way. You might just hear something on the radio or on your Spotify and think, yep, that might work. I always like to use an a cappella section, so whether you've got an a cappella intro or whether there is a part in the track that has an isolated vocal with an a cappella, or whether you're just using the a cappella in general. So in this example, I have an a cappella intro of All I Do Is Win.
All I do is win.
And I've just set up some cue points, simple as
Everybody hands go up.
So the wordplay in here is obviously the word up. So we have Fat Joe all the way up. And again, I've just set a few cue points. You've got one on the outro of this track. And then on the beginning.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
Then it's just a case of how creative you want to get with it. I've matched up the BPMs. And then I'm just going to have a play around with the word up and all my cue points just in practice. And it's always good to practice with the instrumental section. So if I just press this.
Everybody hands go up, go up, up. Everybody hands go up.
So just have a play around with some different patterns. And then you're just going to use repetition to get the timing perfectly so that you can perform it in a live environment. I'm also using a little bit of echo just to fill out the mix a little bit.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. Everybody hands go up.
Take at the beginning.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. Everybody hands go all the way up. Everybody hands go all the way up. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. Show it what you want, show it what you need. My niggas run the game.
So yeah, this technique is literally about going through your music collection and just seeing what works together. Just type in the word down or up or jump, something simple like that. Find some acapellas, find some acapella intros and see what you can come up with.
I want to love you, my pretty young thing. You need some loving, and the loving care, and I'll take it there, take it there.
Like we always do at this time, I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
In this example, I've gone from some old school Michael Jackson into some Kanye West and used a little bit of pitch play, turned down the fader quite drastically to drop in the new track. This can be a great piece of social content as well for your TikToks and your Reels. And although you might not even know where half of the tracks came from, don't worry, there is an amazing website called whosampled.com that tells you everything you need to know. Once you go on whosampled.com, you have charts and you can browse through new samples, but you can also just search for your favorite tracks and see if this track was sampled. So if we go to Kanye Good Life, you can see that it samples PYT by Michael Jackson. Not only that, if you click it, it will come up with the exact time that the sample appears, so you can listen side by side what the producer has done with the track. Then you can take that into your controller and see if you can emulate that. You might need to loop it, you might need to pitch it. There's a lot of DJs doing this on TikTok. One of my favorite DJs, DJ Habibi Beats, who does this all the time. So you can go and have a look at some DJs that are on TikTok that are using this technique and get some inspiration for what they're doing and see if you can start to create your own samples. You can also check out Crossfader's Reels on our sample switch up for some more ideas to take away. If you're loving this video, you will love our brand new How to Mix Hip Hop DJ course. It takes you step by step on learning how to mix hip hop with your favorite music. Learn to mix with playlists featuring Drake, Kanye, Cardi B, Gunna, Future. It also comes with a free 3-month beat source trial. Learn techniques like beat matching, transitioning, scratching, making mashups, and performing extended mixes.
Me at the London. If you find time, we can run one. Talk about some things we can undo. You just in the pen, I can find you. 6'1" on the money, 9'2". You just say the word and I run through. 2 texts, no reply, that's when I knew, yeah.
Dance, everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance.
I need a one dance, got a Hennessy in my hand. One more time before I go. Higher powers taking hold on me.
So this next tip is about finger drumming. Now, finger drumming can be complicated in the beginning, but once you figure out a few techniques, it can be pretty simple. So in this example, I'm going from the London into one dance. And the reason this kind of technique is good is because the finger drumming is emulating the drum pattern on the incoming track. So first of all, you're going to want to find a track that has a kick and a snare, which is most tracks. So I've just set up a cue point. And this snare is really isolated as well, so it is just the drum part. And then what I like to do to kind of learn and practice is get an acapella and loop it, and then just come up with some routines and patterns. So if I loop this vocal here,
dance, everybody,
we can just
and everybody
experiment.
Just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance.
So as you can see, it's just simple and learning repetition over and over again. So just go ahead and play your track that you are going to drop into and just try and figure out the drum pattern. So it's boom, chip, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip, boom. And then just take that into your practice. Boom, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip, boom, chip. And then all I did was set up a cue point, just a couple of beats before the drop. So that we can drop into our new track. We go ahead and start the loop.
Dance, everybody, and
let's
everybody
begin
just
our
clap
drum
your
pattern.
hands. Let me see y'all dance. Everybody, and everybody just clap your hands. Let me see y'all dance.
I need a one dance.
And then drop in your cue point. You can set it any way you like.
One more time before I go. Higher powers taking hold on me.
So go and experiment. Just set up some cue points on some drum parts of your favorite tracks that have intros or even instrumentals, and figure out some routines and some patterns for finger drumming.
I like the 504 boys, how I move through the live, babe. Since so 12, the flame been hot just to show you the time frame.
Our final tip uses the beat jump function. Alongside it, we're also using instant doubles and a break effect. So this gives us a really cool stutter technique that we can use in any transition. So first of all, instant doubles means, so if I press play on this track and I double tap my load button, it will load in the track playing at the exact same time and the same tempo, so it doubles the track. To activate this feature, just open your settings, go to preferences, and you'll see instant doubles. Make sure that's clicked. Then we need to understand our beat jump function. So beat jump does what it says on the tin. It jumps back a number of beats that you selected. So inside of Serato, our beat jump function is here below. We're going to be using a half beat beat jump for this effect. So we're playing this track, instant double it, it will start playing. In here, we're just gonna go to our half beat and click back. Then we're gonna use our crossfader to cut up the pattern. And it gives us this doubling effect.
504 boys, how I move through the live, babe.
You can use the instant double on your laptop, on your computer if you're using one. You can also use it on your controller. For example, on my Rev 1 here, if I do shift and beat jump here, I can now do the half beat jump. And then you just want to be using the crossfader on every half beat. So if we start this again, instant double, jump back. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So just count along in them fours using the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 just to get your timing right. And then finally, we're just going to add a break effect just at the end of the transition, just to give it a little nice touch. So open up your settings and you're going to want to have this stop time on around the 9 o'clock position. And then when we break, it just gives us a little break effect there. So to put it all in motion, we press play, we instant double, we jump back half a beat, we count in fours, so we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and break.
I like the 504 boys, how I move through the live, babe. Since so 12, the flame been hot just to show you the time frame.
So there we go, guys. There are 5 techniques that you can start adding to your DJ sets if you love to mix hip hop. And like I said, guys, make sure you comment down below your favorite trick. I'll choose my favorite comment and pick a winner to win one of our brand new merch items. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again in another video.